It is 2026 and our dream realities are not going to create themselves. I wanted to make this video to kind of clear things up about manifestation because I feel like, especially as women, but women, man, girl, boy, whoever, I think it's really beneficial to understand the power that you cultivate within. This can benefit every person. So get your wine, get your snacks, whatever you like to indulge in, and join me on this ride. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because we're here for the long run. Let's get this video started because I'm really excited to share the information that I've kind of compiled into one place. And that place is this video. So when it comes to manifestation, this is the part that people do not want to hear. You don't manifest a new life by keeping the same personality. Let's talk about it. You honestly have to give up who you've been being because it obviously has not served you in any way, shape, or form. Or if it has, it no longer is serving you. And it's okay to change who you are. Stop holding on to old identities that no longer serve you anymore. The actions, your triggers, your mannerisms, the way that you move through the world, all of this is tied to an internal identity. That identity does not come out of nowhere. It was built through experiences, past assumptions, and some people, some level of trauma or survival. The world doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being and what you identify as, regardless if it's a desired experience or not. The universe is loyal to the frequency in which you give it to replicate. So that default identity is the most prevalent thing that is manifesting into your reality. So when nothing is changing, it's not because manifestation isn't real or you're doing it wrong. It's because you're still being the same person internally, even if consciously you want something different. Because once again, the universe does not respond to desire or want. It responds to the frequency, the signal in which you are sending out, the energy, that inner state of being. That is what it responds to. And that's the only thing that will get you results. These are the same people that want their dream life, their dream job, their dream relationship to appear out of nowhere when the foundation is no longer solid. Your body is still holding on to a limited identity that nothing can change. You're still showing up as the same exact person as you were during those hard ships or hard seasons. You simply cannot show up as the exact same person as you were during these hard ships and still identify as that going forward. You can't identify with hard shit that you went through and still identifying with that energy, still conjuring up that feeling every fucking time you think about it and expect yourself to get rich or expect yourself to pivot from that energy. The thing is, reality does not give a fuck if you want or desire something. It only responds to who you are being. You must feel it as natural before you can receive it. Reality responds to what you reinforce. So if you reinforce that you are a bad bitch, you will be that. And people will treat you as such, depending on what that means to you. And if you reinforce that you are the most hated person on planet Earth and you're the ugliest bitch alive, then people will treat you as such. And you will start to attract more situations that validate that assumption, right? So if you think you're the baddest bitch in the world, you will attract people, situations that validate that, and vice versa. The human body is basically a fucking machine. So whatever you tell it is true, then that's what's gonna be true for you. Once again, perspectives and situations that validate that experience or that assumption will start to show themselves and be more prevalent than others. You don't see reality as is, you see reality as you fucking are. You cannot think your way into a new life while emotionally and physically still living in the old one. Your nervous system will always pull you back to what feels familiar. This is exactly why the default identity matters so much. The default identity is the version of you that runs on autopilot. It's who you are when you're tired, overwhelmed, triggered, and overstimulated. You don't choose this on purpose. It is embedded in you like an organ. It is programmed through repetition, through childhood experiences, past relationships, emotional patterns, and environments that you stayed in entirely too long. Over time, this identity becomes who you are, In other words, who I am. Once something becomes familiar through repetition, the body treats it as safe, even if it is painful, limiting, or outdated. The default identity keeps recreating the same experiences, not because it hates you or it doesn't want you to succeed, but because it wants predictability. It's not trying to sabotage you. It just needs to feel predictable. To the mind and the body, familiarity feels safer than the unknown. This is also why change can feel uncomfortable, even when it's something that you've been asking for or praying for or wanting for such a long period of time. But to the body, it does not yet feel safe. So yes, it will feel uncomfortable. And yes, sometimes you will fall back into those old patterns, but it's important to keep this new identity repetitive, to keep it coming so that it can reprogram into your mind and body. To manifest that default identity has to be disrupted. You have to break the habit of being yourself. And I do not mean pretending, but I mean completely reorchestrating a new self-identity. I mean realizing that the version that was created for survival is not the one that is going to shape your future. You have to realize that this old version does not have to run your life forever. It does not even have to be a part of it forever. Manifestation isn't about changing your reality, but instead it's about changing who you are and allowing the life around you to reflect that back to you. And this is where people feel uncomfortable, because giving up your old identity feels like losing yourself. And that's understandable, but you cannot hold on to that same identity forever and expect change within your reality. You must realize that your personality is only a compilation of things that make you feel safe or that made you feel safe. Shifting that I am statement will essentially shift your entire reality. This is why solitude is so important and honestly so necessary. Solitude removes external feedback. So you're not waiting for other people's opinion. You're not even waiting for a reaction, simply because you now only value your reaction and your feedback. Within solitude, no one is reinforcing those old bad habits that you used to carry on. There's no one to perform for or explain yourself to or unconsciously mirror, because it's a natural human mechanism in which we do subconsciously. In that quiet time, you then realize how much of your identity was propped up by other people or influenced by the world around you. Within solitude, your brain finally has room to reset. The biggest perk is you start hearing your internal thoughts without interruption. That's where the rewiring process happens, because the brain cannot change within chaos. I don't think people realize how much other people's opinions affect them. Constantly overanalyzing what you perceive this person to be thinking based off of your own insecurities. That awareness is everything, because you cannot recalibrate an identity in which you are unaware of. You don't force reality to change. You outgrow the version of you that needed reality to stay the same in order to feel safe or comfortable. The world is loyal, but it's neutral. When you shift that and when you stop identifying with the version that waited, that hoped, that wanted more, then reality starts to mirror that. You shift this by becoming more aware of that inner state, of those inner assumptions that you hold subconsciously. Old identity in which you're used to identifying as was only built off of past experiences, past insecurities, past traumatic experiences that may have happened that you've held on to and decided to take it on as a coping mechanism. Just become more self-aware of the energy in which you are putting out on a daily basis. A lot of the times we run off of these subconscious mechanisms. 90 to 95% of every day is ran based off of the subconscious mind. And so it's something that you won't even realize until you intentionally look for it. It's something as simple as realizing the emotions and feelings in which you are exuding on a daily basis. Within the most simple, basic task, because this is where the default identity succeeds, whether it's exercising, whether it's cleaning up, doing the dishes, whatever these tasks may be, whether it's showering, start to become more consciously aware of the state in which you are holding on a daily basis and the things that you are assuming, because it can really sneak up on you. Once again, this is your default identity. It's something that you've been doing for so long now. And so you really have to be intentional and practice awareness to reprogram that default identity. Because once again, when you are intentional about these things, then you are able to shift that default identity, and the new default becomes the things that you are now practicing. Slowing down on a daily basis, whether it's you making dinner or cleaning or whatever the case may be. This also allows your emotions to be more reliable. I think a lot of the times when we are operating within this subconscious mechanism, we don't realize how much it is affecting our emotions and the way that we feel and the energy in which we are giving out on a daily basis, whether that's to other people or even ourselves. Just slowing down, dropping your shoulders, being more calm, taking a deep breath, and really being more present within your reality. This is how you really shift this default mechanism. This is really truly how you gain power over your reality and start to create from a conscious standpoint instead of subconscious. You have to shift who you've always been, because who you've always been is not gonna work for who you want to be. So leave down in the comments how you will be elevating your life this year. Please and thank you. What is it, February? Okay, little late. Come on. They say the new year really don't start until February 1st, so you've got time. Would love to hear how you guys are going to implement this into your life, whether that's, you know, how you're going to implement it into your routine or just daily activities or whatever the case may be. So make sure you leave that down in the comments. I would love to hear and be a part of that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.